Yeah. Let me start off by just saying, how excited we are and honored to be, going to Canada, visiting Toronto and Montreal, two great cities. Canada's such a great country. We've had a great relationship basketball-wise with Canada. As U.S. coach for 11 years, one of my best friends and someone who helped us out is now the head coach of the Canadian national team, Jay Triano. Actually, Jay was, I think, the only international coach to ever be on a U.S. national staff when we won in Istanbul the World Championships in 2010. Our team has been practicing we've had 6 practices limited. We're in summer school. We're also keeping a couple guys out who will not play in Canada. 2 of our freshmen, Trey Jones is doing well. He's coming back from a hip injury. He's involved in some basketball-related activities now, and then Cameron Reddish is nursing a strained groin, and he's doing some basketball-related activities, but they both will not play. They'll be with us, but will not play. And again, we'll be leaving on Monday, arriving in Toronto, and again, very excited, and we want to thank all the people involved up there for helping make this so easy for us in such a big event for our program and our basketball team. And I'm open for any questions that you might have.
I'll go first. Sorry to interrupt. This is Steve Clark. I'm with the Devil's Den, Coach. Obviously, with having Cam and Trey not going to be playing in the games, it's going to, I'm sure, change a little bit what you're hoping to learn about your team. Can you give me a sense from both from the practices and going into Canada, what you're hoping to learn about your team, and why I'm sure you're not going to put in, the full offense and the full defense?
Yeah, well, there's no way you put in an entire system in about 8-9 practices, especially when they're limited. But the main thing is it's not so much the practice strategy as to get to know our team. It's not just the freshmen, it's the upperclassmen. How much have they improved since the end of the season, giving them an opportunity to play, and we'll look at all of our players and, basically to get to know our team. I've been in our individual workouts that were allowed, and also the practices. I've done a lot of watching, and we've been teaching individually and then collectively, and to use this time really for individual growth, and then that'll give us a better idea of what we're going to start doing in September, in late September when we start practice. This is all a learning thing and a team building thing, and I'm very open-minded about it. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here and trying to do some things.
Coach, this is Adam Zagoria. How you doing?
Good, great. Boy, what an honor to have you on the line.
Thanks. I had to get off the beach for a few minutes.
That's remember? Yeah, 50. Yeah.
Only 30 so far, but
okay.
a lot of your freshmen have used the term positionless basketball. That seems to be in vogue now. Do you buy that, or do these guys have positions, and is this team kind of unique in that regard and compared to other past teams you've had?
Adam, we've really kind of been playing positionless basketball to some extent since the late 80s and early 90s, when we've had Danny Ferry and Grant Hill and those guys. Bobby Hurley was the point guard, but throughout the years, we've kind of just tried to recruit basketball players and put the 5 best players on the court. And with this group, we have with the freshmen, 4 of them are really good ball handlers. Joey Baker's more of a wing and a shooter. The other 4 kids can really play all over. Obviously, Trey Jones would be more just a guard, but he doesn't need to be out on top. So, we're going to play like we always do, an up-tempo style of play, but we'll be playing, predominantly man-to-man defense. And when we get our full complement of guys together, we'll look to press some and, play more people, because more people are capable of being, are able to play. And the kids have really come together. There's great chemistry, enthusiasm. I love my group, and I wish they were all healthy right now, but it's better to play it, be safe and make sure that these two injuries are not things that linger. And we think that, in a short period of time, they're going to be okay.
And if I could just follow up, Coach, there's been a lot of, chatter and articles on social media and stuff about Zion and his size and his weight. Have you ever had a player like him before? And, does he need to change his body at all under you?
No, you know what? He's a gifted athlete. And, just because someone is unique, we've never had anybody exactly like him, and that's okay. He's a gifted athlete, a great kid, and at that weight or approximately that weight, he moves as fast as anybody, jumps higher than anybody, and he's alert. We're not talking about someone who has excess body fat. This is a kid that's in pretty darn good shape, and it just has a mass. It's more mass and strength than any type of excess weight. I don't really, I wouldn't. I'm not concerned about that. He's done really well. Not well. He's done really well, and I've learned a lot about him in this last month. A lot. He's a great, great kid to coach, and such a unique player that we have to keep learning about him. So I know how to use him, max out how we use him. But and I don't think we'll find that out, Adam, until we get Cam and Trey playing on a daily basis, because they really are. They're very unselfish, all these kids. In the limited time that Trey or Cam has played in practice, they're very secure guys, and all they're interested in doing is having fun playing and winning. And those are good things, really good things. I've loved being with these kids.
Thanks, and good luck, Coach.
All right. Thanks, Adam.
Coach, this is Jean-François Tremblay from the Canadian Press in Montreal. How are you?
Mm-hmm. Good, great. Yeah, we're excited about getting to Montreal.
I'm honored to be speaking with you. I would like to ask, through this recent era of basketball where there has been a lot of one-and-done players, has that changed how you build a team and what you emphasize?
Yeah, there's no question it's changed. And instead of, I don't like to use the word change as much as adapt, and maybe they mean the same thing to some people, but for me, adapt means you're tweaking what you do, in your program. We have a great culture. Our teams in the past have done extremely well, and to build on that and what we have done in defense and offense, but then to adapt more quickly to newness, because the new players that we bring in are really good, and they can be our best players. And usually your best players in the past were your older players, and now you get a mix, or your 2 or 3 top players might be freshmen. And how do we work on the dynamics of team building in that regard? And then in each situation is going to be different. So we spend a lot of time in team building and developing, a team atmosphere before you start doing anything offensively and defensively. And you just got to do that every year now. And it's pretty interesting. I'm not saying it's better or worse than the past. All I can say is I'm still doing what I love to do. I just have to do it a little bit differently.
Okay. Just a quick follow-up. Will it be your first time in Montreal or Quebec?
Yeah, I've never been to Montreal, and I've been to Toronto, but I'm looking forward to it. I know it's a beautiful city, and we're going to spend a couple days there, and I know our team's really excited about doing this. Obviously, we have an RJ Barrett, as good a player has come out of Canada potentially, and he and his dad, Rowan is obviously running Canadian basketball, and it's not done because of him. It's done because we wanted to go to Canada, and it's worked out this way. It's going to be great. And I haven't been able to take my team on a foreign tour for a while because I was coaching the U.S. team in the summer.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Coach, this is Thomas Sean from CBC Sports in Toronto. You remember your first encounter with RJ Barrett?
The first time I saw him, is that what you mean?
Yeah, do you remember the first encounter?
I don't remember. I think I've watched him on tape and then saw him play. And, the thing that impressed me was he's kind of old school in the fact of he was older. He had such a winning mentality, and it translated to the guys playing with him. He obviously he's talented and can play all over the court, but I loved his strong face, how he led his team. He just looked older and in command. And the little bit that I had a chance to work with him, I found that to be very true. The kid's a winner and an outstanding player who, he wants to be special. And he's engaged every second with you and is smart, off the court, fun. He's very intelligent. He's way ahead of his years as far as maturity. Very, very mature team. Mature player, I should say.
And just one more follow-up. Do you see that attitude rubbing off on his teammates so far?
Yeah, definitely. And he's not the only one who has it. Our freshman class especially has that type of attitude, and I've seen it with a couple of our upperclassmen, and it kind of permeates throughout our whole team right now. It's more of a like a team attitude, and they have fun. They have fun together, but they want to win, and I think it'll translate really well during the year on the defensive end of the court, and how hard and how well we will play on defense.
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Coach, it's Michael Bodell from the Duke Chronicle. With Grayson Allen gone, the main leader of your team for the last couple of years, have you seen anyone in the clubhouse or, on the practice court really stand out and take initiative from going this summer?
Yeah, I think in some respects they all have. So, we're not in a position to name a captain. I think leadership, that we should have multiple guys leading a team, not just one. And there should be one leader, me. And, No, this team so far has gotten it. They're easy to coach, and we'll see how that evolves. I think the trip will tell us some things in that regard, and it's not an early practice as well.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Uh-huh.
Coach, this is Josh Halleck from Jerusalem, Israel, sportsrabbi.com. How are you?
Mm-hmm. Good. Great.
Great. I have a question about R.J. Barrett. He had some good experience over the summer playing with the senior Canadian men's national team under Jay. What is that experience? You know, you mentioned it a little bit before, but what does that experience really bring to the table that he's actually played against men, not just against college-age athletes?
You know, it helps immensely, and obviously anytime you can spend playing with Jay Triano as your coach, you're going to be better as a person and as a player. But, you know, RJ has always played up, you know, even as a younger, he's still young. He's not an old player, but he has played older than he is all the time. And it's kind of like if you had an older brother like I grew up in Chicago, if my older brother was a really good player and I went to the schoolyard every day and he would let me play with the guys who are 4 or 5 years older, you get better. Now, a lot of times a younger brother, I think it's helped with Trey Jones, with Tyus being older. So this experience that he's had with the Canadian national team and the younger teams has been invaluable. And then he played for a great coach at Mount Bird in Kevin Boyle. I mean, Kevin's one of the outstanding coaches in the United States at any level. You know, he would be an outstanding coach in college or pro. He's that good, and he runs his program very professionally. So RJ's always been involved with older, really talented groups and with outstanding leadership. And obviously his mom and dad started him off the right way. But he's just flourished. He's he's way ahead of the game at this time in his career.
We have about time for 2 more questions for Coach.
Hi, Coach. Mike Melville from the Nilsson Report here. With respect to Zion Williamson, I was wondering if you could highlight some of the most impressive skills and attributes that you've seen so far, outside of his powerful dunking ability.
Yeah, well, he's an outstanding basketball player. He can really, he's graceful. You know, his lateral movement and speed and anticipation is off the charts. And he can drive, he can post. He understands the game really well. And I know everyone has watched him on YouTube with all this dunking, and obviously that's impressive. But he's a heck of a basketball player. And defensively, he can get in a stance and help side defense, anticipate real quick. He's great quickness and it's such an easy guy to play with. Yeah, I want to keep learning more and more about him, so that when we start our regular season, I put him in positions where he can use all those talents.
And this will be the last question for Coach.
I've got one more if nobody else does.
Go ahead.
Coach, this is Steve again with the Devil's Den. We're going to be talking with Marquise and Javin here in a couple minutes. Can you kind of describe what the expectations were for both of them, just with the off season and development, and what you've observed of them that you have them in some practice settings?
Yeah, I think the main expectation is to play to the level of your talent and experience. It's pretty good for us to have juniors in our program who are that talented and know us to actually play like mature juniors, really good players, and understand who they are. Javin has had a sensational we had 7 practices. He's been outstanding. Not good. He's been outstanding and knows who he is right now. Marquise has been really good and is learning a new, we're running a little bit different offense, and is learning how he fits in that offense. And we just had a scrimmage the other day with officials, and, he for almost all of it, he did what we thought he could do and had in 30 minutes about 18 points and 11 or 12 rebounds and, 8 for 12 from the field, where he's an efficient scorer, rebounder, and defender. And but we're pleased with both of them. Both of them are on such a good upward trend that it's exciting to go along with what our freshmen have shown thus far.